Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you that you have blessed us all with living in Canby. And I ask for your wisdom and your discernment in how to govern and knowing the right things to do and to have the courage to do them for us all. And I ask your protection and blessing over Canby, our first responders, our armed forces, and the United States of America. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And please join us in the flag salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Next up on the agenda, we have a presentation by Greater Portland, Inc. And looks like Renata is going to start us off.
I'm here to introduce our guest speakers. We have Sheila Muckledge, who is representing Greater Portland, Inc., and Mayor Lou Ogden, who needs no introduction from Tualatin. And just as background, we've been a partner in Greater Portland, Inc. for many years. We count on them to do major business recruitment and marketing of the region, nationally, internationally, and to try and attract target industries to our region, and then hopefully to Canada. So they are doing a great job for us, and I wanted to invite them out so you could understand more the services that they provide and the great work that they're doing.
Great.
But invite Sheila and Lou to come on up, and I'll run the
Okay.
Well, good evening, President Dale, councilors. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. As Renata said, I'm Lou Ogden, Mayor in Tualatin, and I'll let Sheila introduce herself more appropriately in a moment. And I just wanted to take a minute before she begins the presentation about GPI and just give you a little bit of background as to sort of how we got where we're at today. And much of this may be review for you, and I'll try to make it as quickly as possible, but just to kind of give you context. A number of years ago, in the greater Portland area, a number of the local governments were involved in an organization, loosely defined organization called Regional Partners. And that was predominantly our practitioners, folks like Renata and the economic development directors from the 20 plus cities and the counties in the region. And that group persisted for, I don't know exactly, 2 or 3 or 4 years, I've lost track, maybe longer. And their effort was to put their heads together to talk about things that could be done locally from community to community to provide the environment for economic vitality for the entire region. And it was done again at the government at the practitioner level. A few years ago, the private sector, predominantly from business folks in Portland, said, well, we need to get involved ourselves and support this effort and do some of this work. So they formed an organization called Greenlight Greater Portland. And that was the private folks. We had the regional partners as the private side, the public side. And someone woke up, and not too many days later, said, we ought to put our heads together and do this as a collective. And so from that, Greater Portland, Inc. was born. And so the story then is to fund this organization, the staff that it takes to do the analysis, to do the vision, to bring all of the cats together in the same box, so to speak, or more probably properly align the troops, and then to do the marketing across the region, across the country, and across the globe takes dollars, of course. And so early on, the opportunity was given to investors to become, I'm going to call them board members of Greater Portland, Inc. And again, it was private and public. And as I recall, the ticket was about $25,000. So for little Tualatin, we're going from having our economic development director going to these meetings to having to write a check for $25,000. That's a little tough for us to swallow. The 4 major cities in Portland, the biggest cities in the counties, did that, thankfully, along with many private investors, and began to fund this organization. And then they realized, and we all collectively realized, that Canby and Tualatin and Oregon City and the rest of us have an important role to play. And so what was born out of that was the Small Cities Consortium, so that all of us, and there are at this moment, I've lost count, but let's say in round numbers, 20 communities like Canby and like Tualatin and like Westland and Lake Oswego and so on, that make up this small cities consortium. Together, we pay dues that are substantially less. I think there might be like a dime per capita or something along that lines. And so for, I'm guessing, a couple $1,000s a year or thereabouts, we are all getting equivalent, frankly, to what the larger cities are getting for their larger ticket investment. And I've been fortunate enough to represent this consortium as sort of the board liaison or the board representative. So we have one seat at the board, even though there's 20 plus of us as cities. And so, like Sheila, to talk about more specifically the work that GPI has been doing. And I got to tell you that Canby certainly distinguishes himself in the region with the work that you've done, the good work that Renata and others on your staff have done, and the foresight that you've had in your industrial area that you've done, in your redevelopment downtown. And so not only do you have a lot to be proud of, but you are sort of a trendsetter and a beacon for the rest of us to follow what can be done in a small community. And so we're pleased that you're part of that consortium, and we learn from you, and hopefully we learn from each other. And most importantly, GPI then takes our individual needs, sort of blends them into a mosaic of the region, so that when they're marketing Portland metropolitan region, that's the draw, that's the name that most people know, and as the interest becomes more focused, then they start to talk about their specific needs and how it might best fit a Canby or a Tualatin or a Troutdale or whatever. So with that, we're pleased that you're part of the group. We're pleased to be here tonight, and I'll let Sheila give you all of the pertinent information.
All right.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lou.
I could never have done that justice quite like that. So, okay, I'm going to give you an overview. Lou did a really great job. If we go through, there's a couple of slides I think we can just skip ahead because he did an amazing job sort of giving you the overview of kind of how GPI was formed. So we can skip to the next one. So this is kind of an overview of the region. This represents 7 counties by state makeup that is GPI. And when Lou was talking about some smart minds got together, they also started thinking about, when site selectors or companies are looking at or thinking about moving or relocating to an area, they don't think about borders, they don't think about counties, they don't think about any of that stuff. They just sort of think about what's the talent, what's the business base, and so that's why we represent the entire region. I just told you that stuff. So, we get together every year as a group and put together essentially our action plan. So we have 3 major arms of that plan: uniting regionally to compete globally, and that's kind of pooling our resources and representing this place as a strong, united regional front. Stay and grow in Portland, and that's really representing the businesses that are here, making sure that they're happy. And that's a lot of what you guys do. And we try and support that through our marketing efforts. Choose Greater Portland, and that's really an opportunity to raise the awareness of regional value propositions, so sort of what I was talking about before. So if we go to the next one, uniting regionally. So right now we're in the process of the 2020 plan, which is a 5-year action plan. Lou's been involved in that as well. That's really bringing the regional representatives and leaders together, thinking about what do we need this place to be in 5 years in 2020, and then building a tactical plan to get there. And that's what we're really in the process of doing right now, and then creating regional communication around that to make sure everybody's on the same page, kind of talking some of the same messages. Stay and grow. Greater Portland Global is the tactical action plan for foreign direct investment, and that is the plan that Derek in our office has been working on closely with Hillsborough, City of Portland, and a couple other investors to make sure that we have a very robust and global program that's reaching out to potential investors. So if there are companies that are global companies that are interested in moving to Portland or moving to the Greater Portland region, that they have the right kind of connections and contacts to make those decisions. And then the Choose Greater Portland. So our large we're calling it large site or large site strategy right now, is a group of people that are sitting together and thinking about how can we better market the large sites. So if it's a company that needs large spaces or large sites for their companies, that we're able to market those and differentiate them in the marketplace, where there are a lot of people who have a lot more property, actually a lot more square footage than maybe our region might. So that should be ready in about September, October. And that's the major part of the Choose Greater Portland. So those three initiatives, we have lots of services to deliver those, and the services that we offer are business development, marketing, research and analysis, connectivity, and then regional competitiveness. So business development is really around how do we market the sectors or the industries that are our strengths here in Oregon. Those have been identified through the Oregon Business Plan, and the 6 that are listed there are the ones that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. So we're marketing those, and when we talk about business development, we're talking about lead generation and how do we get in touch with people that might be interested in talking to us about properties or athletic and outdoor, like any of our strengths, and how do we turn those kind of names or contacts into actual wins. So you see the funnel is kind of, it starts out as a, this kind of obscure maybe name or referral that we got, and then we follow up on that. And you turn that into a lead, so you just sort of start putting it down through the funnel and turning it into actual wins for the region. So the marketing that we do, it's really pretty broad. These are just some of the examples. So the ad in the upper part of the slide is something that we've been using through social media, a lot through LinkedIn, Facebook, and then ad targeting. So we actually have a system on our website right now. It's really fascinating. When people come to our website, we have the ability now to see exactly who's coming to our website, and then we can take that information and turn those into targeted ads. So we can start tracking people. Like when you go to your Facebook page or you go online or something and you looked at a pair of shoes, and then all of a sudden like 7 different types of those shoes are showing up that's kind of following you around. So we're creating ads like that. So if you come to our website now, we have, it's called redirecting. We have ads like this that are following people around, and then if they come back to our webpage, that's one way that we start generating some leads or opportunities. The next one that's below that is the community profile. So the community profiles are something that we've been working on for a little while. It took a little longer than I think people had hoped, but they're all done. And we're getting ready to launch our new website on the 27th of this month. That is a great way for communities to really put their best foot forward, sort of pitch their area, what they have to offer to prospective businesses. So we'll have a map on our website. We'll have little pinpoints of where the communities are located. If somebody clicks on that, then that profile will pop up, and it'll give a really nice overview of your community. And then the other piece there, it's called Greater Portland's Emerging Bioscience Hub. That's Location Essentials, which is really targeted toward a specific list of what are site selectors. That's just a blast email that we send out to approximately 500 names that we have on this list. And I'm sure you're all familiar with site selectors, but those are the folks whose jobs it is to either help a business go out and try and find the right site, or they're independent, or they work for a company and that's their job within the company. So we do those, and we use those to highlight specific areas that we think might be of interest to site selectors and opportunities for businesses to grow. So, okay. Another thing that we can do is research and analysis. So a lot of times I think GPI can be seen as an extension of your staff and provide supplemental research and analysis. So if you're working on a specific project, or you're going after a specific client or a business, that it's always very useful to reach out to us. Matt Miller in our office, this is sort of his area of expertise, that he can provide supplemental data to, and he might be able to help you think through some other value propositions that might be interesting to a client. So that's another service. Connectivity. It's a beautiful Willamette Falls Legacy project that just got recently funded. Yay. So some of the things that we do, it will be coordinate tours of different sites that are with our different partners. So we just recently actually went out to the Blue Heron site and did a really great tour with Metro. But we've also gone out to Intel. We went to the OHU Collaborative Life Sciences building, which was pretty incredible. If you ever have a chance to check that out, I highly recommend it. And then we've done some tours out at Nike. But, OHSU and the Night Cancer fundraising that they did really sort of represents, I think, in some people's minds, an opportunity to grow a business or build a business or start a business that has to do with research or labs or things like that. So that's something maybe that people can keep in mind when they're thinking about what do we have and how does that align with what's going on in the larger region. So regional competitiveness, I talked a little bit about the Greater Portland Global Plan. I also talked a little bit about 2020. I think the Greater Portland Global is linked to an FDI video. Is that right? So we could, if people want to see a video on foreign direct investment and sort of what that means to the region, it's about a 4-minute, 3-minute video that we can watch if folks want, but we don't have to. Completely up to you. It's kind of a...
Are you interested? See that?
Sure.
Sure. Good.
Just click on the... Yep. I don't know if you have sound. Looks like it's up.
I think looks like it's on mute when you put your cursor over, isn't it? Click it and see what happens.
Oh, no.
No, that just muted it. Okay.
That's okay.
Well, I guess we can click and watch later.
You guys have it, yeah, so you can watch it later. That's okay. You could just do the next slide, yeah. That's okay. So that was really it. I am happy to answer any questions that you might have. And like Lou, thank you very much for having us and happy to give you an overview of what's going on. Any questions?
I'd like to add the specific services that I'm really happy to be tapping into Greater Portland Inc. on Candy's behalf this year is Sheila's expert advice in regenerating and rejuvenating our website. It's been around for at least 5 years.
Sure.
And it's time to modernize and make it more interactive and more video and that kind of thing. So she's been advising me and we're working together on that project. The other area that I'm hoping that they'll help me with is to do research around workforce. As you remember, we had a site selector come out in April, and one of the things that he mentioned was we need more information about our talent and workforce and what we have to offer prospective employers. And so he's going to be working with me on that as well. So that's expertise that we certainly don't have in-house, and for our investment of $2,500 a year, it's so worth it to us to extend our efforts.
I guess, Mr. President and Council, one thing I would add is that we are one economic region, or one dollar shed, if you will. And while when someone speculates to move to Portland, investigates that to the Portland area, I want to move to Tualatin because I want to get the assessed value, and you want to move to Canby because you want to get that assessed value. But we all benefit from wherever the location is, because the folks that live in Tualatin will benefit from the new jobs that are created in Canby, and the folks that live in Canby benefit from the new jobs that are created in Westland, Oregon City, and so it goes. And so there really is not this pragmatism or this competitive work that we do amongst each other in the Greater Portland Inc. broadly, and certainly in the small cities particularly. Nothing would make me happier than a new business in Canby or Wilsonville or West Lynn, other than maybe a new one in Tualatin. But again, we all win.
That's right.
When the tide goes up, all the boats go up at the same time. So it's just important to understand that it really is a general and broad effort that we all do collectively.
Yeah, this really is a great program. The city of Canby couldn't accomplish the outreach by itself that this program accomplishes, and our $2,500 annual contribution is definitely well spent, and we get more than more value than the $2,500 that we put in. I sincerely appreciate the program that you put together. I would probably respectfully disagree just a little bit. We are all going to fight as hard as we can when it comes in the community. And
Well, like I said, when you win, we all win. So I'm cheering for you every step of the way.
Forget a spot for Cabela's there to BP.
Yeah, there you go.
but we absolutely appreciate the work that you do and value the partnership that we enjoy with you.
That's great.
Great. Thank you very much for having us.
Is there any more you need from us, Lou and Sheila?
Not at the moment. I mean, I'll be in touch with Renata, but I would encourage you guys to check out the website on the
bet.
27th. It will go live. During when we launch, we're also launching an ad campaign in San Jose, New York, and Austin simultaneously.
Nice.
So we'll probably see a real uptick in activity on the website and some opportunities for some more leads. But over time, I think the organization has got much better at refining the message and what we're trying to sell as a region. So if you have feedback, let me know.
Very good.
Yeah.
And the work that the GPI staff does is greatly directed by the meetings of the technical folks that all the investors meet monthly, and Renata is front and center in that group. I mean, she's really is a leader in that group, both from her technical expertise, but also her vision and her ability to sort of articulate that and keep everybody on task. So we appreciate you loaning her to us on a regular basis.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, and Lou, thank you for being our representative.
fun.
You're a tremendous guy, and we're blessed to have you do that
Well,
for us. Thank
saying
you.
that.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila.
All right,
Thanks for taking
Thank
time
you.
out of your
Yeah.
evening to come see
Our
us.
pleasure.
All righty. And next up, we're going to have the Canby Main Street Annual Report.
Just one moment. Yes. Thanks.
So I am Jamie Stickle. I am the Main Street Manager. Let's see if that's on. There we go. And so I'm here to present the 2014-2015 annual report. The Main Street mission is to carry out the urban renewal plan to ensure economic vitality of the downtown commercial district, revitalize buildings and street environments, and enhance Canby's identity through the promotion of downtown. Our Canby Main Street program is based off the National Main Street 4-point approach, which includes promotion, design, economic restructuring, and organization. So starting out, promotion really is the promotion of the community. It's about events and marketing, about finding ways to bring people downtown and hopefully into the businesses. One of the ways that we've done that was the Canby First Friday. We did a kickoff meeting February 24th, and before that we worked on a survey that would pull the downtown businesses and really help to determine what they thought about the program, what they thought were some of the positives and some of the places that we could all stand to do a little bit better. Through that, we decided to have the program go from May through December. create a year-round laminated signage, which I'll show you in just a second, and create monthly themes. The first month, May, we did a scavenger hunt, which was really fun, and it brought families like the Heights and the Hensleys down, and just gave them a reason to get into some businesses that they had never been in before. Some of our businesses said, that they saw more foot traffic, and some of the people who participated in the scavenger hunt reported that they didn't intend to spend money when they came down, but ended up doing so because of what they found along their way. So these Ask Me First Friday signs are starting to go out to the businesses, and it just says, ask me about my plans for Canby First Friday. And one of the reasons we kind of decided about the Ask Me About My Plans is that it doesn't make sense for every business to participate in First Friday. They don't see the reasons always, and sometimes due to family or life situations, they're not able to participate in every First Friday. But if you had this up in your storefront, and someone said, "Well, what are your plans for First Friday?" and someone said, "Well, I'm not open, but my plan is to go next door and listen to live music or check out the wine tasting that they have down the street," that it helps to create that community of First Friday partnerships. That is one of the things that really helps our program succeed. The downtown draw focused on the following businesses: Cuts Forest, the Canby Herald, Canby Public Library, Thelma's Place, and the Big White Goose. And what this is an interview with a business owner, and it just helps to give people a little in-depth look on the businesses that they either may or may not go into. Hopefully, if they haven't gone into them and they read something that's interesting, whether it's in the Main Street newsletter or on Facebook or on the business's Facebook page where they can promote it as well, that it helps to get the word out about their business, where their story comes from. A lot of business owners go into business because they have a story. They have a passion for something, and that came from, learning how to quilt with grandma, and then they own a quilting business. So it's been a fun way for me to be able to get to know some of our businesses, and I think a good way to help promote the businesses that we have. In September, we held the second annual Kiss Summer Goodbye Party. We doubled the vendors to 28 vendors, and it was held in Waite Park. We had dance team, bubbles, chalk, and live music by the 9th Street Cover-Up, which is a Canby band. I'll talk about this a little bit more, but this was the last year that we're going to do this because we're refocusing our efforts on a community street dance that has seen a lot of involvement from businesses, citizens. Some of you kind folks have been at those meetings. On Halloween, we held the Downtown Spooktacular Village. It's a really great way to bring people downtown for safe trick-or-treating. We've got the mayor, and you can't see from the red wig, but there's this Mrs. Hensley up there also. And so this is a photo of our downtown parade. It's a really great, easy kids walking in the middle of the street, and they are the focus of the parade, and they love it. So we work with the businesses. We do some contests. The fire department comes out and hands out candy. It's just a really good, fun time for all. This past year was the Light Up the Night. I think it was the 13th annual Light Up the Night. And it looked a little bit different than it had the last couple of years. We increased the budget, so we were able to purchase lights instead of renting them or any other ideas that are out there. We purchased lights and lighted ornaments that were all put up in the trees. And it was a really great collaboration. The fire department came out, the Chamber of Commerce helped, CTV5, the police department, and our public works team. I think I told anybody that would stop long enough for me to listen, or stopped long enough to listen to me, that they really did above and beyond of hanging lights along First Avenue and all through the park, and they will be actually hanging the lights this coming year as opposed to working with the company again. On June 15th, we had a Chalk Blitz downtown. It was an after-hours event, and it's from an idea that I learned at the National Main Street Conference, where it's guerrilla promotion, I guess you would call it, in the best way. We had families come down and just doing beautiful Canby-related art along the sidewalks, and we paired that with a Canby Herald article so that when the Canby Herald came out on Tuesday, that there was an article that said, come downtown, check out, I think we had about 20 spots. There was a map on Facebook, and just encourage people to come downtown. And I think that it is something that we will maybe do again and hopefully bring some more groups in. We went to some high school classes, and despite our best efforts, none of the high school students showed up. But maybe next year, since they'll see how great it was this year. Some marketing materials. As you guys know, Mariah completed the Discover Canby brochure as part of Main Street work. We've had the event center signage, which is during the fair, big, I think it's 6 by 3 feet, that talks about downtown businesses. It's got Canby attractions, and it goes right out front one of their main gates. Then updates, social media, website, and then weekly newsletter. Moving on to economic restructuring. So this is about retaining and recruiting business. So we've done business outreach, some targeted outreach, especially that will continue with the new library and civic center, and maybe helping with this block or helping to recruit. There's some other there's some other redevelopment happening in downtown, and so hopefully helping them reach out to businesses and attract some businesses that people have said that they are interested in through the various business surveys that we've done. Marketing the available space. So while we have very few openings available downtown, we keep an inventory and we update that. And then again with that business recruitment, one of the things that we can do when working with property owners, if they don't have a broker sheet, is create a very simple broker sheet to help market that property for them. The organization part is about working with volunteers, building partnerships throughout the community with stakeholders. So some of the community partnerships that we have with the Downtown Merchants, the Chamber of Commerce, the Public Library, other Main Street programs throughout the region. We had the Flower Basket program where we had people meet and decide on what the flowers that went into 2nd Avenue and 1st Avenue look like. Then the Historic Review Board and Arts and Culture, just other ways that we're reaching out to the community. Through the Oregon Main Street Network, we've got quarterly meetings, and at those quarterly meetings is a lot of networking, idea sharing, sometimes best practices, and very much like the national meeting, you can take one little idea, like the chalk idea wasn't specifically a chalk idea when I heard it, but that twist it to make it work in your community. This past year, the National Main Street Conference was in Atlanta, Georgia. It focused on teamwork and entrepreneurship, and because of the new Arts and Culture Advisory Council, I was able to sit in on a lot of different meetings about incorporating art into your community. And one of my favorites was in Wyoming. They have a mural program, and I think that they have something like 20 murals in their town now. And it all started with the back of a building that was graffitied, that they thought we should do something with this. And when asked if the graffiti continued on that wall once it was painted, the gal laughed and she said that the graffiti artists were the ones that did the work. So finding ways to bring people in and work together is just the Main Street way. The Historic Review Board completed the Certified Local Government Grant in 2014. Then there was the Philander Lee tree. So that is the tree that you're looking at. It sits on Package Containers property, and it is part of Philander Lee, whose picture's on the wall behind me, and he sold off some of his land, and that's what became Canby. So the tree, we're working with Package Containers and then the Oregon Heritage Tree Program to get the tree listed on the Oregon, on the program. And it's interesting to read about tourism in the region that I guess Oregon sees more tourists who come for historic reasons than many other states. I'm not sure how many. But so that's a way that we put in the application. We'll find out, I think, towards the end of this month if we were awarded that. And then they helped put up a plaque, and there's a big party that helps to honor the tree, and Package Containers couldn't be more excited to work with us and to be part of that. Another thing that we're trying to do is work with other community groups, and our Historic Review Board has been really thoughtful about gaining more traction with honey than vinegar. And so some people hear historic preservation and think you're going to tell me I can't paint my building and you can't tear down this rotting tree. And really what we're trying to do is just promote good historic preservation, really talk about the history that we have here in Canby. There's a lot of history still here. And so as we continue, we're working with other groups, and we just met with the chamber recently to make sure that they were on board and at least know what we're doing. And then we're working on a National Register nomination for the City Hall. So that Certified Local Government Grant, the one that we completed in 2014, we got 5 intensive level surveys, which an intensive level survey just looks at all of the history that they can find about a certain property. And the reason I say property and not building is that the building doesn't necessarily need to be there. So it tells about, depending on where you look, it tells about who met there, why it's historically significant, and then the person, which is a contractor, once they finish the survey, they say whether or not it would be eligible for a National Register nomination. So it's that step that doesn't just say, oh, brick building, 1937. It says it's significant for this reason, and it is eligible for a National Register nomination. We did facade renderings for 5 buildings downtown that took a look at the historic nature and the current use and kind of fused those together. And we gave the facade renderings to the property owners with the hopes that someone would act and use our facade improvement program. We haven't had that happen yet, but it is an interesting way to get your mind thinking about these historic buildings. And then training for some of the Historic Review Board members. We applied and were awarded another grant in the beginning of this year. So we will have 5 more intensive level surveys completed, provide public outreach. So again, working with the community to let them know what we're working on, that we're different than the Historical Society, but that we're working with the Historical Society, to create a brochure to talk about these properties a little bit and say why each property is so significant. Training at the Oregon Heritage Conference, which will help to give some of our newer members a little look into the reasons that it's important and hopefully provide some ideas for moving forward. And then a National Register nomination that would be in addition to the City Hall Register nomination that is currently being worked on. For design, it means, it says getting Main Street into top physical shape. So our flower baskets, facade improvement program, things that make the town itself beautiful fall under the design part. So for our flower program, we got our flower baskets this year from SNK Nursery out of Hubbard. And they were really wonderful to work with. They worked with both me and then some of our public works guys who, Ken Daniels is one, he devotes part of his time just to downtown to make sure that it remains looking beautiful and trimmed and immaculate as he does. We have a garden showcase 4 garden showcases on Northwest First, which include dahlias from Swan Island Dahlias and tulips and crocuses from the Wooden Shoe Tulip. So one thing that we've created is a design toolbox, which will include information on the facade program, the blade siding program. It has a business list that talks about, if you need a landscaper for your property, who could you call in town? And we just pulled that right from the city's business list. And we're hoping that this is a way that we can put all of that information into the hands of property owners and maybe business owners who own the property, or if they don't, that could help get to the property owners to get some more people to do the facade, participate in the facade program. This past year, we've had only one business that has put in an application, and that is the Canby Kiwanis on Highway 99, and I know that they are working with a designer, Ron Yarbrough, currently. But to help get more enthusiastic participants to really know about that program, in the business survey that went out, earlier this year, a lot of people said that that is one of the things that they wish that they had information on. And while we in the downtown have really been able to put the information in the hands of the businesses, maybe sending them to some select property owners or, people who say, I'm kind of interested in updating my look, we can give a whole packet that has information on all of the different things that they can do. Our Arts and Culture Advisory Council is a subcommittee of the Design Committee. In September of 2014, we installed 2 sculptures, one by Jessie Spickard and one by Susan Schimmelfeining. And then we had a great unveiling and a ton of fun. And so in June of 2015, we added 3 additional sculptures. One by Ben Dye, who is gaining traction all over Oregon for his works. Kate Simmons, she teaches at Clackamas County Community College in their welding department, art welding. And then Jim Johnson, who is a retired teacher, and that is his piece right there. It's called Remembrance, and it is a firefighter, and it's cast aluminum. So then looking forward, the key initiatives for next year to work on artistic signage and wayfinding for the new library and civic center, art for the library, definitely exterior, but maybe some interior also if that opportunity arises. The Canby's Big Night Out Street Dance, which will be held August 28th from 5 to 10 p.m. And that is a big group of people that came together to put on a good event that would kick off the Canby's Big Weekend. The Chamber's involved, Canby Herald's involved. It came from an idea from Ken over at the Backstop Bar and Grill. And so as that continues to formulate and work everything out, I'm really excited. It's really family friendly. Most of the children activities will be from 5 to 7 p.m. But it's going to be a really good family friendly event, live music, dancing in the street, free to get into. Then we'll work on the transition to a nonprofit, which is, we'll start by creating a 501c3, working on gaining some potential board members, and then also that certified local government grant that I talked about. And for more information, contact me.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Do you have any questions, comments?
Very impressive. You're
Little
doing
birdie.
outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jamie has been very busy the last year, and she is always, this is a list of some of the projects she's been working on, and by no means is it exhaustive. Whenever we have something special come up downtown, I am on the phone calling Jamie, and she's first on the scene with Renata and Mariah, both, all 3 of them, working to solve whatever issue I bring to them. I really, really appreciate it. I would make one additional comment to follow up on the Light of the Night activities of last year. We had a couple challenges with the lighting and the light box and the electrical system, and we're upgrading all of that this year so that for this year's Light Up the Night, we have one switch instead of 10 to throw, and we shouldn't be blowing circuits, and so we're really excited about it, and Public Works is leading the charge on that. So we're just real happy to that Jamie does such a great job on our Main Street program. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie.
That's great. All right. Next up, we have communications.
No.
Nothing, Rick? Joe?
Nothing.
Kim? Nothing. Wow. All right. Next up, we have an opportunity for citizen input. Do we have any citizens that'd like to share with us tonight? Come on up. And tell us your name and
Hi, my name is
address.
Kathy Hutchinson, and I'm the general candidate.
Yes. Hi, Kathy.
I'm Lauren Zogby, also general candidate.
Yeah.
I want to take the opportunity to thank Canby Telecom for all their support that they've done for us and having us here tonight. I also want to announce that there were no fire or police incidences at General Canby Days. So that's a plus part. Unfortunately, we did not have the wiener dog races because their little feet couldn't be on the pavement because it was too hot for them. So I did order cooler weather for next year.
Very good.
The other thing is that the mayor has one up on all you guys. He has 2 signs now, and so
With
there's
bling.
with bling. And then we're looking forward for next year, and we're on focused and getting ready to go. And thank you all for your support.
Yeah. Thank you for your hard work putting it all together. We sure appreciate it. It was a great event. That's good.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you.
very much.
Thanks for coming tonight. Anyone else that would like to share with us tonight? See none. All righty. Kim, do we have any community announcements? Nothing going on in our fair community? That's okay. Clint's going to tell us about some great things coming up soon in August, I know. Next up for mayor's business, the mayor's not here, and that's his business, so we'll skip on to councilor comments. No, seriously, the mayor sends his greetings. He could not be here tonight. Wanted to let you all know that he's thinking about you all, though. Start with Todd.
All right, thank you. On the library front, I want to say congratulations to Melissa Kelly on her new position at Lake Oswego. She's going to be sorely missed here. For me, on being a part of the choosing of the contractors and all that stuff and working with Melissa, it's been really, really good. Really impressed with her forward vision, not looking at the past and all the stuff that's happened in the past, but just thinking about the future, trying to get a nice project going. So I really wish her the best, and she's definitely going to be missed here. Last night, library board meeting was a presentation from Humphreys and SEA on the layout, which is the new layout, which you can see up here. They did a really good job, and there was a lot of great comments. I didn't really hear hardly any negative comments at all. A lot of good positive comments from that last night. So that's kind of the next step that's going with that. So, and with that, can I announce that you can make it official? August 31st.
We will do it on August 31st.
Official,
Official.
Groundbreaking for August 31st.
There we go.
Absolutely. You know what? If you have a date, then you have
There
something.
you go.
Yeah.
So this actually is a day in advance of, we had originally said September 1st, so we're actually a day ahead of
We're
time.
early. Yeah, that's right.
Excellent.
So August 31st.
I attended General Canby Day. I served pancakes. Well, actually, I served eggs. You served pancakes.
I served
and you served pancakes. Yeah. So it was all good. We were all there. It was great. I got a chance to watch the fireworks show, which was a great show this year. And with that, if I could, I'd like to bring Chief Davis up to talk about the fireworks display.
Yeah, welcome, Chief.
Welcome, Chief Davis.
Make that go off. Council President, Council, we are very pleased to announce that the fireworks went off without a hitch.
That's great.
We would like to specifically thank the city, the chamber, the city staff helped out considerably along with the chamber and the school district for providing the property and the work behind the scenes from the school district on helping us get the post up, get the tape up, and to cordon off areas. There were a tremendous amount of help in the logistical setup for the fireworks. And Canby Utilities for the donation of the property for cars to park on. Unfortunately, they didn't park on there, but, lessons learned for next year. I thought it was a spectacular display, some fireworks that I've never seen before, and other people have said the same thing. The good news is I wanted to thank the citizens of Canby because we asked and pleaded with them to come to the fireworks display and not to set off illegal fireworks or even safe and sane fireworks. And I really do believe they listened to us for the most part. Some of our neighborhoods did have some illegals going off, but nothing like the year before. And so we really wanted to thank the citizens for listening to us because CCOM, where our emergency dispatching is done, they had an increase of about 30% of emergency and police fire calls dispatched that day and night. And Canby was down 67% from the previous years, both on police and fire. which speaks highly to the citizens and coming to the fireworks display and keeping things safe in their neighborhoods, especially with as dry as it is out there. So I just wanted to really thank everybody for coming to the fireworks display and keeping it safe. We responded to one grass fire the entire night.
Wow.
Which is incredible compared to the previous years. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you so much for you and the volunteers' leadership this year and making the fireworks happen. Tremendous show. I had so many compliments with people.
Yeah,
Just,
that was
what a show.
I haven't
Great.
seen many of those.
Oh my goodness. It was.
That's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I have to say I'm really glad that the legislature is adjourned.
There you go.
My weekly and biweekly trips to Salem are on hiatus, at least until February. It wasn't a friendly session to business, and I'll put a more comprehensive report on some of the legislation on my Facebook page, my council page later, some of the bills that would affect the city, and we can talk about those later when I have a better report. CCA dinner was the next thing I did. That's the Clackamas Cities Association. It was at Pendarvis Farm in Happy Valley. It was a very fun event, actually. That farm is the home of the Pickathon, which some may not be aware of, but that's a wonderful independent music festival. And the only outdoor music festival in the United States to minimize all single-use cups, dishes, utensils, these kind of things. They have a pack it in, pack it out policy and a little token system, so it works really well. And to put that in perspective, I mean, these types of festivals make news for how much garbage they create. And they have about 3,500 attendees every year, and they have a 30-yard dumpster, and that's it.
Wow.
So at its 80 acres, 2 barns, 4 stages is quite a setup that they have there. It was very fun to visit. For my 8th year, I was team captain for a Relay for Life, and the numbers are still coming in, but we've raised so far $57,000 for this year's relay, and it was extraordinarily hot. But we had a lot of water, thank you, Fred Meyer, and it was a fun event, even though it was a scorcher. First Friday, I also attended with the art unveiling of 3 sculptures downtown and had a lovely conversation with artist Kate Simmons. That was nice to talk to her. She had a very lovely piece out there. Go see it. It's down on the ivy end. It looks like a tree. It's really cool. They're all cool, but that was kind of the one that struck my fancy that night. I also was the early shift on the pancakes. It was kind of fun. I always love doing that event, and I don't mind the early shift, giving those pancakes out. It was a very well-attended event for the Historical Society. General Canby Day, another scorcher event. I always attend, and the car show and the parade was a lot of fun. And the fireworks, again, thank you, Chief Davis. Those were amazing. I have actually not been coming to, I'll admit it, to our community fireworks because I have another private show that we go to. But I came to this one, and I was so impressed, I have to say. It was a great event. And one little thank you I think that got missed, unless I missed hearing it, was the scouts that cleaned up the next day. So many thanks to those scouts. Jamie mentioned it, but I want to reiterate, Canby's Big Night Out coming August 28th from 5 to 10 p.m. And it's the kickoff for Canby's Big Weekend. I also attended the Canby Chamber Luncheon, had a great conversation with Dan Clem. He's the legislative director for Oregon State Chamber of Commerce, and he did a legislative report too, so it's kind of funny, ours are similar. but it was a great event to have him come in and tell the business community about things that will affect them. Traffic Safety Commission, that meeting was solely, well, I won't say solely, but largely about policy and procedures on how we're going to handle issues that come up and constituents who come in and have an issue and want to talk to the Safety Commission about that. We're talking about how to put some procedures in place. And as those are developed, they'll be put on the website. Is that right, Rick? We're going to put those things on their page?
Yeah, we will put them on, and what we're actually doing, and I've created it and I've sent it off to Bob, and he's already starting to work with it, a request form so that we can formalize the process process. It will have backup documentation, including maps to show the specific area requested for service, and it'll just give us an opportunity to better manage the process from start to finish. We find that we're repeating ourselves month after month, and we want to just create a system that is very efficient, very effective, both for the residents of the community and for the commission itself.
Very good.
So we actually have the first draft. It's in Bob's hand already.
Oh, good. Okay. And the August meeting will be canceled. The September meeting date appears to be not quite settled on, so I'll report in August when that meeting will be. And CTV 5 board meets tomorrow, so I'll have a report at the next meeting on that.
Great.
That concludes.
Thank you. All right, Councilor Height.
Yes. So school district-wise, there's a new member. Brendan Murphy stepped down after 4 years. He completed his term, and so I wanted to publicly say thank you to Brendan for his service on school board. He's been really good. And his replacement is Rob Shovlin. So and then Andrea Weber and Diane Downs were reelected, so they've got a full school board, and off they go. The big news is there won't be a change in the start and end date for the schools, for any of the schools this year. There's a lot of talk about that and community input and whatnot, but the superintendent announced that a decision, we're going to put that off, or perhaps we'll look at it next year. So school times are the same this year. And that means transportation, the buses will be split to elementary on one, middle and high school on the other. They're not mixing the kids. Canby Area Transit, the rider of the month for June was Stephen Bowles, who rides from Oregon City to Woodburn every day for work. And there's 2 storage sheds that have been put on the property for where the new bus barn is. And all the signs have been put up on 99E, all the new cat signs. And apparently, I think most of them are in town. There were 15 that were going to be put up in town as well. I think those are mostly up now too, thanks to Public Works. So that's good for Cat. And then there's a rider alert that Julie Whaling put out. They're changing the Orange Line's name to Route 99, and that's effective August 3rd. I actually wanted to read a bit on that because I think this is important for the viewing audience to know. It says on August 3rd, the new Route 99 schedule will be implemented. The Route 99 schedule is the same as the Orange Line schedule with a few minor adjustments. The departure times from Oregon City and the Canby Transit Center have not changed. The departure times from Woodburn are also the same except for the first morning bus, which will leave 8 minutes later. 2 new runs between Oregon City and Woodburn have been added. Riders should pay close attention to the schedule to be sure that they are waiting at the correct bus stop, because fewer buses will travel through Canby Market Center, which is at Fred Meyer, and Canby Square, which is at Safeway. Near Canby Market Center, the bus stops on 99E will be used more frequently. Near Canby Square, 2 new bus stops have been added on 99E. And this information will be out, I think, in the Canby Herald and on their website. So please inform your fellow riders if you know any of this big change. Okay. So there's that. And then Canby Adult Center, they have a blood drive coming up on this Friday, July 17th. So that's something going on there. The library board meeting I attended to, and it was really interesting to see the presentation of the architects. The various library boards were there. The Friends Foundation and the library boards were all invited. It was really great to be able to ask the architects questions. It was interesting, just a couple things that of note that I thought. The media collection, I'm kind of pointing at the blue section there. Media, the DVDs and the DVD section will be kind of near the entryway of the library. But he had indicated that form of media might be on the way out sooner than we would have thought, and that people will be uploading in future. Anyway, people will be uploading their movies more, I guess, readily. I'm not technologically, an expert, but anyway, the idea was that section might be shrinking in the coming years, which is interesting. But the books are not, contrary to sort of fears that the books are on their way out and libraries are on the run. He didn't indicate that at all. The research is showing that, in fact, circulation is pretty high these days, and millennials love to read, and they're reading more more books than e-readers, actually, which is interesting. So anyway, that was an interesting note. The new website was launched for the Canby Public Library also, and they're going to use some Google Analytics now to track site visits, so that's helpful technologically. And then, yeah, Melissa's last day was today, and all the patrons and the staff, everyone's going to miss Melissa. She's been great to work with. Just a bright spark of joy, and she'll do well in Lake Oswego, I'm sure. The Library Foundation, Councilor Coleman and I attended that. It was the end of June. We talked to them about their thoughts on funding and whatnot. They have their new brochure that they're starting to market, or they've rolled this out. But in short, their focus is going to be, and maybe I mentioned this at the last meeting, but endowment, so long-term funding for the library and that kind of endowment. And so they'd like to see the city pick up the FF&Es and the shelving as well as we can. So we're going to be communicating with them as much as possible on how that looks as the project develops. And what else? The North Redwood Concept Plan, there was a meeting yesterday for stakeholders. So they're going to be presenting to us on August 4th. I'm sure it'll be a pretty comprehensive presentation, so I won't get into too much detail on that, but it's coming into view pretty well now. It's pretty interesting. And county dinner, I went to the Happy Valley County dinner too. The Pickathon, yeah, it sure is interesting. A progressive kind of communal hippie style concert out in Happy Valley. It looks like a lot of fun, but I'm not going to be able to go this year, but maybe sometime. Kiwanis, I went to their luncheon last week, and it was fun. I got to kind of give a little impromptu update on what's going on in the city, and so that was a good opportunity. And yeah, they're a good group, and I was happy to be there. Relay for Life, I did that for the first time. That's pretty cool, Tracy. You've done it 8 years in a row. Good job. That was fun. Another big change is Tim Lesher of the Canby Center. His last day was today as well. So not only Melissa Kelly, we're losing another important community leader. He's moving back to Arizona. He and his wife got different jobs, good jobs there. They kind of think of Arizona as their home, so it's a good move for them and their family. But boy, will they be missed. They've done great things for the Canby Center. So that's today as well. And Canby Day, yeah, General Canby Days, it was fun. I walked with the Friends of the Library, actually, and kind of waving our for the first time, we waved our logos, and that was a good time. And they raised $1,500 at their book sale that day. So they're going to donate that right back to the library programming, and there we go. So thank you.
Thank you.
Council Coleman.
Mr. Mayor, or Councilor.
There you go.
I was not able to attend the Planning Commission meeting on July 1st, but they had a public hearing on request for site and design for Hope Village for 6 residential duplex structures, and that was approved, so that was good news. I also attended the General Canby Days. It was actually my first year serving eggs. I just had a short stint, but I think that'll be a fun thing to do in the future. Attended the car show, walked through the various vendors, and just so impressed with the fireworks. That was just top notch. Attended the Library Foundation meeting with Tracy, and that was interesting. In my perspective, of the FF&Es and the shortfall, as I see it, there's really 4 methods of the funds, pursue the county grant money, but I think that, is best suited toward the build of the library. Another option is using the funds from the sale of buildings, and that's nice if those sales take place. But another one, or borrowing the money, and I don't think that there's the appetite for that. So in my opinion, I think their best option is to pursue grants and fundraise. I just think there's no better time for that than now, in my opinion. Let's see, I just attended the design committee meeting. That was excellent. They did a great job on that. The 3 new sculptures are a big plus to the community. Attended the traffic safety meeting, and appreciate the job you do, Tracy, and just appreciate the attendance by you, Rick, and the fire chief, and so many community leaders, and how helpful Jerry Nelzine is. Let's see, there will be some paving work this week on Northeast 2nd between Grant heading toward Elm Street. And so be aware of that, but that'll be a big improvement. I think, correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I think the next chamber luncheon is at the fairgrounds
That is
to
correct.
kind of kick off the Clackamas County Fair.
Second Tuesday instead of the first.
Okay, second Tuesday. And the festivities for the Clackamas County Fair and Rodeo kick off this year on August the 18th. It's just a wonderful, wonderful event throughout the week. And then the following weekend on the 29th, the day after that street dance, is the car show in the park. And they're prepared this year to have up to 500 cars. So I think it'll be, if the weather cooperates, it'll be a wonderful time.
That's amazing.
And that's all I have.
And Clint, we can get our rodeo tickets and fair tickets?
Yes, you can. You can stop at the fair office and pick those up. And then also, I would encourage everyone to go to the Clackamas County Event Center, because each day of the fair has a different theme. And so like the 18th is Children's Day. So if your child is below a certain age, it's no charge to go in. But there's different themed days, and so I would encourage that, and stop by the fair office and buy your tickets and come out for a good time.
Can we get them online this year too?
I believe you can. I think.
Pick where you want to sit and everything?
Yeah, I'll try to have more information on
No, that's great.
But
Very good. It's exciting.
Yes.
It's going to be here before we know it. Wow. Very good. And for myself, I likewise attended the art sculpture unveiling and General Canby Days. Served pancakes, was in the parade. My thanks to Sergeant Derek Steinman, United States Marine Corps retired. He was our automobile escort this year.
That's right.
Had a tremendous vehicle with, it was just the coolest Eagle flag decal. It's not even a decal, it wrapped the car. It was just amazing. And also my thanks to Steve Nausen, who was Benjamin Franklin this year, did that presentation. It was really good. And Mr. Nausen was my political science teacher at Canby Union, back then, high school. And so it was great to get to touch base with him and visit with him. I credit him with getting me excited about politics, so you can blame him that I'm up here tonight. But it was great to see him and his Benjamin Franklin presentation. And Chief, I noticed this year at the fireworks, for the first time ever, unless I missed them last year, we had drones in the sky. We did. It was hard not to be distracted watching them. Yeah, at least one of the pilots, they were parked up on the Sequoia overpass bridge. And now and then you'd see the drones scurry back, get another battery pack, and come back. But, boy, I'd love to see the videos they got.
It's coming out.
Is it? Very good. That's exciting.
Cool.
Yeah, we're kind of like, those fireworks aren't moving.
They're trying to shoot it down.
So great. Looking forward to the videos. Oh, very good. And that concludes the council comments and liaison reports. Next up, we have consent agenda.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda, which consists of approval of the minutes of the June 17th, 2015 City Council regular meeting.
Is there a second? All righty. It's been moved by Councilor Hensley, seconded by Councilor Rocha, to approve the consent agenda, which consists of the approval of the minutes of the June 17th, 2015 City Council regular meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it carries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 0. Kim, looks like we have no resolutions or ordinances tonight. Oh, my goodness. Do we have any new business, Rick?
No, we do not.
None at all. Do we have a city administrator report?
Yeah, just a couple things. I'm thinking back to my political science instructor in high school, who also coached a number of activities, athletics, and which probably is the reason that I was so interested in athletics and so unconcerned about politics back then. He was a great coach.
Isn't that good?
I wanted to talk just real briefly. As you can see behind you, we posted the schematic floor plan for the library, and then on the left side is, and you've seen these before, the depiction of all of the areas of interest that were discussed and identified by participants in the first 5 public meetings that we have. And the larger the name, the more times the particular topic or subject matter or area of interest for the library is shown. Farther over to the side is a breakdown of library space, and this is about the 7th or 8th iteration of the library floor plan, and it is probably 90 to 95% true to what it is going to be as it built out. What Councillor Height was talking about is the media library right in this area right here. You can see adult collections, tween teen, children's collections, a nice multi-purpose room. Over here, breakout meeting rooms, staff, beautiful area for staff, restrooms, city council chambers, which will be available for scheduling library activities. We only use the facility or the chambers about 5% of the time, and so we just think it'll be a key resource for library and community activities. This other multi-purpose room also has exterior, or actually to the lobby area, exterior entrances, so even if the library is closed, this multi-purpose room can be available for community meetings. Same thing with the city council chambers, as we have kind of isolated the restrooms so that they can serve these 2 rooms even if everything else in the building is closed. Lots and lots of flexibility, lots of good things happening, and we're going to display both of these boards at the library so that any member of the public wishing to come in and take a closer look and get an idea of what the square footage allocation is for each of the different program areas. Our library architect made some very interesting comments, and I was very pleased to hear them. One of which, and I think this is really important, was that with the allocation of space and the combining and partnering between the civic building and the library component, that the usable space for the library is actually expanded over what it would have been, because the common space, which is existing in every building that you build, has been designed in such a way that it's much more efficient than it would otherwise be, and we're able to share space, make available, in our particular case, make available a 2,500 square foot building that would not otherwise be available, or building room that would not otherwise be available for library programming. So in his opinion, and he's designed over 70 libraries, that the design as it has been laid out and put together gives us more space than had we built a 25,000-foot standalone library. Wow. We're very happy to hear that.
Excellent news.
So good news. I think the biggest point here is that anybody can take a closer look at this. We'll have it at the library and have it available for public viewing.
Great. Thank you. It's exciting. Next up, we have one more opportunity for citizen input. Any citizens want to input? All right, see none. Next up, we have action review. Kim, please tell us we did something.
You approved the consent agenda.
Very good.
In an hour and 45 minutes.
In an hour and 40. Yeah, there we go. Very good. And to our city attorney, Joe, do we have an exec session tonight?
We do not tonight.
Very good. So, Rick, do we have any other business to conduct tonight?
No, just a final thanks to Melissa Kelly, and expression of our appreciation to her for the leadership that she showed to the library. We will benefit for a long period of time by her leadership, even though the tenure wasn't as long as we would have preferred it.
You bet. And
wish her the very best.
We wish her the very best. Look forward to seeing her down the road.
She promised to come back and visit.
Good deal. All right, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All righty, and Commissioner?
Non-debatable.
It is a non-debatable motion. We'll skip who moved and seconded. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Thank you, Canby. Good night.
There.